Welcome back to Classic Mosaic Truth. It is really wonderful to have you with us again as we continue this journey.
It is. We're getting into the really crucial part of the text now.
We really are. We're in the middle of our exploration of a book that's been, well, it's been misunderstood, sometimes misused, but also celebrated for over a century now. Wallace D. Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich. And today, we're opening the file on episode 6.
This is the turning point. I really feel that.
It absolutely feels that way. We're calling this discussion Acting in the Certain Way. And honestly, if you've been following along with us, this is, I think, the piece of the puzzle that so often goes missing.
Oh, for sure. This is the elusive link.
It's that mechanical bridge, isn't it, between the mental vision we've spent so much time talking about and the actual, physical realization of that vision.
Precisely. We spent a lot of time on the mindset in the previous sessions. We had to. We talked about gratitude. We covered visualization. We went deep on rejecting the competitive plane.
All foundational. Absolutely foundational.
Yeah, you can't build a house without that foundation. But, and this is the big but, you see so many people who master the mindset. I mean, they have the vision board, they have the gratitude journal, they're doing the affirmations every single morning.
They're doing everything right, according to the popular advice.
They're doing it all. And yet, year after year, they remain exactly where they are. And they're frustrated. They're wondering what's wrong.
It's like they're waiting for the check to just appear in the mail, but they never actually sent an invoice.
Right. That's a perfect analogy.
Right.
Or they're waiting for the car to just materialize in the driveway.
Yeah.
And Wattles is here in this section of the text. We're looking at chapters 11 and 12 here to tell us that while thought organizes the energy, thought alone does not mine the gold.
It doesn't build the house.
It doesn't build the house. It doesn't write the book or paint the painting. It sets the stage, but it doesn't perform the play.
It really is the missing link. So in this session, we're going to talk about present action. We're going to dive into ethical exchange, which is, I think, a huge part of this that people skip over.
A critical part.
And we're going to completely reject those mystical shortcuts that people try to take that honestly give this whole field a bad name.
It's about the physics of receiving. That's what it is. It's not magic. It's mechanics.
I love that. The physics of receiving. That really grounds it. Now, before we get into the mechanics, I do want to say, if this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one. It really does help us get this information out there to more people who might need it.
So let's look at the core thesis here, because Wattles gives us a formula that is so simple, it's actually easy to miss how profound it is.
Right. What is it?
He says, by thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it.
By thought, it is brought. By action, it is received. That is such a clean, powerful distinction.
It's a two-part equation. And like we said, most people only practice one part. If you only have the first half, you're just a dreamer.
Yeah, you're just daydreaming.
You're sending out all these signals into the universe, but you have no mechanism to catch the return signal. It's like playing catch with yourself, but you throw the ball up in the air and then just walk away before it comes down.
And you wonder why you never catch it.
Right. You have to be there with your glove open, ready.
We really need to do a serious tone check here, because this is where people can get tripped up. This is not about magic.
Not at all. And Wattles would be the first to say that.
And it's definitely not about just sitting on the couch and, waiting for a miracle to come knocking on your door.
No.
Yeah.
He calls this a science for a reason.
Yeah.
He's very deliberate with that word. It is about being positioned, physically and mentally, to catch what you have asked for. It's practical, it's grounded, it requires sweat equity.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to unpack this thought-action bridge in more detail. Then we have to look at the danger of what he calls projecting your thought, which is a huge trap I think a lot of modern manifestation teachers fall right into.
It's a very seductive trap.
Then we'll talk about how to act in the now, because, well, apparently that's the only time we actually have to do anything.
It's the only time that exists, really.
And we will finish up with a guided exercise to really lock this all in, to make it practical for you.
It's a strong agenda.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to challenge some people who might be holding on to that idea that thought is enough. It's a comforting idea, but it's incomplete.
It is. So let's start with part 1, the thought plus action bridge. Wattles makes a distinction here that I think is just brilliant. He talks about how thought acts on the formless substance, that creative power of the universe we've discussed, but we live in a physical world.
Yes, and that's the part we can't forget. We aren't disembodied spirits. He says that thought acts on the creative forces. It impresses your desire onto the fabric of reality, let's say.
Okay, it puts the order in.
it puts the order in. But those forces, they work through established channels. They have to. We live in a world of, mechanics of commerce, of social interaction. We live in a world with gravity and friction and other people.
I have this analogy that's been in my head, and I think it helps explain it. Imagine you order a package online. That's the thought part.
Okay.
You found what you want, you've put it in your cart, you've clicked the button, you've sent the request out into the digital ether. The warehouse somewhere has received it. The package is now traveling toward you. It's on a truck. It's moving.
The process has begun. The whole universe of logistics is now working on your behalf.
Exactly. But if you are not home to open the door when the delivery driver knocks, you don't get the package.
That is exactly it. That is the perfect modern metaphor for this. Your personal action is the act of opening the door.
Mm-hmm.
If you order the package, but then you lock yourself in the basement and refuse to move, the delivery fails. And it's not because the thought didn't work. The package arrived. It was right there on your doorstep.
The system worked
Perfectly. But the reception failed. You were not there to receive it.
So personal action supplements thought.
Personal action must supplement thought. It's not optional. You cannot create from nothing without using the existing materials and the processes of nature and society. Wattles is so clear on this. You are not going to manifest money out of thin air. It will not materialize in your pocket while you're sleeping.
Which I think brings us to this regular channels idea. This is really the anti-mystical stance we mentioned at the start.
Correct. And this is where Wattles really separates himself from the more, let's say, woo-woo aspects of the New Thought movement. He says that when the Supreme, or the universe, or God, however you want to frame that higher intelligence.
Or whatever language works for you.
Right. When that intelligence wants to bring you an opportunity, it will almost certainly arrive through a person. It'll come through a job opening you see online. It'll come through a trade, a conversation, a newspaper article you happen to glance at, a chance meeting at a coffee shop.
It comes through the systems that already exist in the world.
Exactly. It comes through established systems of commerce and social interaction. Your action is what opens the valve for these systems to deliver the goods. So if you're praying for a job, but you never check your email, or you never answer your phone when an unknown number calls, or you never polish your resume.
You're blocking the channel. You've turned the faucet off.
You've turned the faucet off.
Yeah.
You're saying, I'm not available to receive.
It's like saying, I really want to meet the love of my life, but you never leave your apartment and you've deleted all the dating apps.
Precisely. Thought brings the person to the coffee shop at the same time as you. Action gets you to walk into that coffee shop, order a coffee, and maybe, just maybe, look up from your phone and say hello.
So the universe sets the stage.
It sets the stage, but you have to walk onto it and say your lines. You have to participate.
You know, I actually think that's a relief, honestly, because waiting for magic it's really stressful. You have no control. You never know when or if it's going to happen. But acting, I can do that. I can control that.
It gives you your agency back. It takes you out of the role of a passive victim, just waiting for a savior, and it puts you squarely in the role of a co-creator.
We are partners in this creation, not just spectators on the sidelines.
That's the whole philosophy in a nutshell.
Let's dig a little deeper into this regular channels concept, because I think people sometimes miss the nuance. It's not just that things come through people, right? It's that they come through processes.
That is a vital distinction.
Yeah.
Yes. If your vision is to be a great musician, the regular channel involves hours and hours of practice. It involves music theory. It involves booking gigs, maybe for no money at first.
The unglamorous stuff.
The totally unglamorous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of being a musician organizes the energy. It might bring you the right teacher or the perfect inspiration for a song, but the action of playing the scales over and over and over until your fingers hurt is the channel through which that mastery actually arrives.
So neglecting the mundane work is, in a way, neglecting the miracle.
You are literally closing the door on the miracle. Exactly.
Yeah.
The miracle hides in the mundane. It's in the spreadsheets, it's in the reps at the gym, it's in the practice sessions.
Okay, so that is what we should do. But let's look at the flip side. Part 2. What not to do. Wattles talks about this trap of projection.
This is a very common mistake, and it's especially prevalent, I think, in the modern self-help world. Wattles gives a strict warning against trying to project your thought out into space to get things to move or to influence other people.
You mean like trying to use your mind to control someone else's behavior? Like, I am sending you telepathic messages to hire me for this job.
Yes, that's the idea. Or trying to use your will to force a specific outcome halfway across town. He says this is not only a complete waste of effort, but it's actually dangerous to your own mind.
Dangerous? How so?
Well, from a psychological angle, think about it. Trying to mentally control the outside world, it weakens your sanity. It distracts you completely. You're focusing all your energy on things you cannot possibly touch instead of the things that are right in front of you that you can control.
And it must create a sense of hopelessness because ultimately you can't control those things mentally, so you just feel like you're failing all the time.
You are. You're setting yourself up for failure. It reminds me so much of the Stoics.
I was just thinking that. We talk about them a lot, but this feels like a direct one-to-one link.
It's pure Stoicism. I mean, Epictetus talks about the dichotomy of control. We control our own minds, our own judgments, and our own actions. That's our sphere.
And that's it.
That's it. We do not control external events, and we certainly do not control other people's choices, their thoughts, or their feelings. So when you try to project your thought to make someone else do something, even if you think it's for their own good, you're violating a fundamental boundary of nature.
So if I'm sitting here trying to will my boss to give me a raise, I'm just spinning my wheels.
You are wasting precious mental energy, and you are almost certainly creating a lot of anxiety for yourself. The fix, according to Wattles, is to keep your mind at home.
Keep your mind at home. I really like that phrase. It feels, I don't know, cozy, but also very disciplined.
It is disciplined. He says, use your thought to form the vision of what you want. See yourself with the raise. Feel the gratitude for it having already happened. That's the internal work. You do that at home in your mind.
Okay.
But you use your will only on yourself. Use your will to compel yourself to act in a way that merits the raise, to do your work with excellence, to show up early, to add so much value that a raise becomes the only logical next step. That is where your power lies.
So we stop trying to be wizards casting spells on other people, and we start being workers in our own workshop.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
And there is a huge relief in that, isn't there?
Yeah.
You don't have to carry the weight of the world or control the entire universe. You just have to control yourself.
That's more than enough work for most of us.
It's a lifetime's work.
Let's move on to part 3, which feels like a natural extension of this. The ethics of action. This is a big one for Wattles, and I think it's what sets him apart from any kind of greed is good philosophy. He talks about this difference between use value and cash value.
This is the moral compass of the whole philosophy. Without this piece, the entire system can be corrupted. Wattles is very specific.
Yeah.
You are not to receive things as charity, and you are not to steal. But he goes much, much further than that.
Okay.
He says you must not even drive a sharp bargain where you feel like you've won and the other person feels like they've lost.
So no swindling, no taking advantage of people's ignorance or desperation.
Correct. He calls it the fundamental law of exchange, and it's beautiful. He said you must give every person more in use value than you take from them in cash value.
Okay, let's unpack that because those terms can be a little jargony. Cash value is pretty straightforward. That's the price tag.
That's the dollars and cents?
Use value is what they get out of it, the utility.
Exactly. It's the benefit they receive. So the price they pay, the cash, must be less than the benefit they get, the use.
Can you give us a clear example of that?
Absolutely. Take a book. Let's say you buy a book for $20. That is its cash value.
Simple enough.
But inside that book, you find one idea, just one, that helps you start a successful business, or it helps you fix your marriage, or it helps you find peace of mind. That single idea might be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to you over your lifetime.
So the use value is in the thousands, but the cash value is only 20.
Exactly. The author gave you immensely more in use value than they took from you in cash value. And Wattles says that when you conduct all of your affairs this way, it ensures you are a creator, not a competitor.
And why does that distinction, creator versus competitor, matter so much to him?
Because when you're a creator, you are adding to the life of the world. You're making the whole pie bigger for everyone. When you're a competitor, you're just fighting to slice off a bigger piece for yourself, which means someone else's piece has to get smaller.
It's a zero-sum game.
It is. And when you add to life, Wattles argues, you keep this supreme, that universal intelligence on your side, because the fundamental impulse of the universe is always for more life, for expansion, for increase.
It wants expansion for everyone, not just for me at the expense of you.
For everyone. So if your business transaction leaves the other person feeling energized, happy, and better off than they were before, You are aligned with that creative force. You become a channel for the universe to bless others through you.
That is a really healthy and I think sustainable way to look at business. It completely takes the guilt out of making money.
It does. It reframes getting rich as a noble service to humanity, provided you are following that golden rule of exchange. If you're getting rich by exploiting people, you're on the competitive plane, your success is shaky, and it won't last.
But if you're getting rich by enriching others,
Your foundation is rock solid. You're building on bedrock.
it also completely changes how you would approach a sale or a negotiation. Instead of thinking, how much can I get out of this person? You start thinking,
How much value can I possibly pack into this? How can I make this such an amazing deal for them that they feel fantastic about it? It shifts the entire focus from extraction to contribution. And ironically, or perhaps lawfully, that mindset tends to attract far more wealth because people love to do business with those who give them incredible value.
it's a magnet. All right, let's get into the timing of all this. Part 4 is the act now rule.
And this is probably the hardest part for people. We have a serious problem with time.
We do. What do you mean?
We love to live in the past, right? We're constantly replaying our mistakes. I should have bought that stock 10 years ago. If only I had taken that other job. Or we live entirely in the future, worrying about what might happen. What if the economy crashes? What if I get sick?
Guilty as charged.
We all are. Wattles is incredibly blunt here, he says. You cannot act in the past. It is gone. You cannot act in the future. It is not here yet. You can only act in the present, right now.
It sounds so obvious when you say it like that, but man, we struggle with it.
We do. And Wattles has a name for this struggle. He calls it the divided mind. This is the failure state where a person is physically doing one thing, but their mind is somewhere else completely.
Oh, I know this feeling well. Like you're sitting at your desk at work, but mentally you are on a beach in Hawaii. Or you're supposed to be writing an email, but you're mentally replaying an argument you had with your spouse this morning.
Exactly. And the result of that is weak, diluted, ineffective action. You are not putting your full power into what you are doing.
Right.
You are splitting your energy. If you act with a divided mind, you are sending mixed signals to the universe, and on a very practical level, you are producing mediocre work.
But what about the person who genuinely hates their job? They're in an environment they despise. They don't want to be there. Their mind wants to be somewhere else. It feels like a defense mechanism.
That is the environment trap. It's a very real feeling. And Wattles addresses this head on. He says, do not wait for the environment to change. Change the environment by your action.
Okay, how does that work? That sounds a little like a paradox.
He says, you can only get to a better place by more than filling your present place. He uses this great analogy. Imagine a plant in a small pot. If the plant is small and shriveled and not growing, you don't move it to a bigger pot. That would be pointless.
Right, it would just get lost in there.
You wait until it's thriving. You wait until its roots are bursting out of its current pot. That's when you know it's ready for a bigger space.
So you have to over-deliver where you are right now to earn the right to move on to the next thing.
Yes. If you are small in your current role, if you are slacking off, complaining, doing the bare minimum because you hate it, you are demonstrating to the universe and to your employer that you are not ready for a bigger role. You are proving that you cannot handle responsibility.
So acting resentful actually keeps you stuck in the situation you resent.
It locks you in place. From a psychological perspective, this connects directly to the concept of attention control. Focusing fully on the task at hand, even if it's a menial task you dislike, even if it's just filing papers alphabetically, it signals a readiness for something bigger. It trains the mind for mastery.
So you treat the small, boring job with the same respect and focus you would give the CEO job you want.
Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you are sloppy and resentful with the small things, the universe has no reason to believe you will be excellent and grateful with the big things. And on a practical level, your boss can see that too.
That is powerful and very convicting. Okay, let's make this as concrete as possible. Part 5 is about practical examples. Let's look at 3 common scenarios to see how this certain way of acting plays out in real life.
Great idea. Let's start with the most common one, work.
Okay, scenario 1. You want a promotion, or maybe you dream of starting your own business, but right now you feel completely stuck in a dull, dead-end job.
The certain way here is to stop waiting for the ideal condition. Stop saying to yourself, I'll start working hard when I get the manager title, or I'll give it my all when I'm working for myself.
The when-then trap.
The when-then trap. The solution is to do today's work perfectly. Put the full power of success and your entire mind into every small task.
Even if it's just making the coffee for the office.
Especially if it's just making the coffee.
Yeah.
If you make the best coffee in the office and you do it with a spirit of increase and genuine cheerfulness, people notice that energy. Use your current job as a platform to demonstrate that you have outgrown it. Act as if you are already the person you want to be by executing your current mundane duties with absolute precision and grace.
Okay, that makes sense. Example 2, relationships.
This is a tough one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
This scenario, there is friction at home. Maybe it's with a spouse, a partner, maybe with your colleagues at work. There's tension.
And usually in that situation, our focus is on how they need to change. We have a whole list of their faults and grievances.
We do. We project our thought outward. If only he would listen to me. If only she would be more patient. That is projection, and it's powerless. The certain way is to align your own speech and your own behavior with the vision of harmony you hold in your mind.
So you stop projecting demands onto them.
You stop it completely.
So what do you do instead? Just bottle it up.
No, not at all. You offer respect and value, that use value we talked about, in every single interaction. You repair the connection through your own behavior first. Be the great listener you want them to be. Be the patient one you wish they were. You change the entire dynamic by changing your input into the system.
You act the way you want the relationship to feel, even if they aren't yet.
Exactly. You don't demand that they change. You create an environment of such value and respect that harmony becomes the only logical outcome. You give more in emotional use value than you demand in return.
That requires a lot of personal responsibility. Okay, example 3, habits.
Let's say you're trying to build a new skill. You want to learn to write or get fit or learn an instrument,
And we keep procrastinating. We keep waiting for that magical feeling of motivation to strike.
which rarely comes.
Right.
Certain Way says,
Yeah.
choose one daily proof action. But here's where we can bring in a fantastic tool from modern psychology, Peter Golowitzer's work on implementation intentions.
That's the if-then planning, right? I've heard of this.
Yes. It's a simple but incredibly powerful formula. If situation X arises, then I will perform response Y. So instead of a vague goal like I'll write more, you create a rule. If it is 7 a.m. and I have poured my first cup of coffee, then I will sit down and write for 30 minutes.
You automate the action so it matches the mental picture.
You take the decision-making and the willpower out of the equation. You stop relying on how you feel, and you start relying on a rule you've already created.
You make it mechanical. You just execute the plan.
You make it automatic.
Right.
You bridge that huge gap between I want to write and I am writing with a concrete, non-negotiable plan.
I love that. It takes all the emotion and drama out of it. You just follow the instruction you gave your past self.
And that is how you defeat resistance. You don't negotiate with yourself in the moment. You just execute the code you already wrote.
Okay, we're going to do something a little different now. We're going to do a brief guided exercise. This is part 6, the vision to action bridge.
I want everyone listening to just take a moment, if you can. If you're driving, obviously keep your eyes open and stay safe. But you can still shift your focus inward. We're going to walk through this slowly. This is how you connect the dots between the dream and the doing.
Let's take it step by step. What's the first thing?
Step first, state your vision in plain language. What is it you want? Don't make it poetic or vague. Just say it clearly and simply. I want to be debt-free. I want to run a marathon. I want a new career in marketing. Hold that clear image in your mind for a second.
Okay, got it. Simple and clear.
Step next. Name the next reachable step, not the final step, not finish the marathon. What can be done right now or in the next hour? Is it opening a spreadsheet to list your debts? Is it putting on your running shoes and walking out the front door? Is it looking up the phone number of someone you need to call? Identify the immediate physical action.
Something you could literally do in the next 5 minutes.
Yes. Step next. Choose one proof action you will do today. Make it small, make it concrete, and commit to it right now. Today, I will transfer $50 to my savings account. Today, I will run around the block one time. Today, I will send that one email I've been avoiding.
Just one proof action, just to prove to yourself that you are serious.
Exactly. Step next. Choose one phrase you will speak that matches the vision. This is your affirmation of success, and it should not be a complaint. So instead of saying, I'm so broke, you practice saying, I am building wealth. Instead of, I'm so out of shape, you say, I am building stamina. You speak the reality you're in the process of creating.
Aligning your speech with your action and your vision.
They all have to point in the same direction. Step next. Identify one delay excuse that you will drop. We all have our favorites. I'll start when I feel like it. I'll do it when the weather is better. I'll get to it when I have more time. Name that excuse, see it for what it is, and decide right now to drop it. It no longer serves you.
Let it go. It's just a story.
It's just a story. And step the race. Finally, close with a calm commitment to act now. Just tell yourself, quietly but firmly, I am ready, I am acting. And feel that shift from passive waiting to active creating.
That feels incredibly grounding. It takes it out of the clouds of someday and puts it right here in the room, right now.
That is the entire point. We are grounding the lightning.
Yeah.
We are taking that electric potential of thought and running it into the earth of action to actually power our lives.
Let's talk about where people go wrong with this, because even with the best intentions, we slip up. Part 7, common mistakes and fixes.
The first and maybe biggest mistake is the waiting room mentality.
What's that?
It's feeling like your life is a waiting room. You're just sitting there flipping through old magazines, waiting for your name to be called, waiting to be discovered, waiting for conditions to be perfect.
I think we all live there sometimes.
We do. The fix is to realize that the world moves for those who move. You have to act before you feel ready. If you wait until you feel perfectly prepared and 100% confident, you will be waiting forever. Competence comes from acting, not before it.
Okay, that's a big one. Mistake next. The divided mind.
We touched on this already. It's daydreaming while you're working, or doing your work resentfully with only half your attention.
Or just checking your phone every 3 minutes while you're trying to do something important.
That's the modern plague of the divided mind. The fix is to practice pulling your attention back, again and again, to the physical movement of your hands, to the task in front of you. If you are washing dishes, then just wash the dishes. Be fully there with the soap and the water. That focus gathers your power. A divided mind is a weak mind. A unified mind is a powerful mind.
Mistake next. Trying to manipulate others mentally.
This is that big ethical one, the projection trap.
Trying to use your mind to force people to do what you want them to do.
The fix is to respect their autonomy. Plain and simple. Focus on adding value to them, not on controlling them. If you add enough value, people will naturally want to work with you, help you, and be around you. You don't have to force it. Attraction is always stronger and more sustainable than coercion.
Mistake next. Acting competitively.
This comes from that deep fear of lack. Thinking that if someone else wins, you have to lose. Looking at your neighbor's new car and feeling that pang of jealousy or fear.
The scarcity mindset.
Yes. The fix is to remember, as Wattles insists, that the supply from the formless is infinite. You must shift your focus to creating new value rather than fighting for a bigger slice of the existing pie. If you are a creator, you don't care what others have because you know you have the power to create what you need.
And mistake, finally. Ignoring the regular channels.
This is waiting for the bag of money to drop from the sky. It's ignoring all the practical steps because you're hoping for a magic trick.
The lottery ticket mentality.
Exactly. The fix is to accept that the miracle will almost always look like hard work. It will look like a normal opportunity. It will look like opening the mail, answering the phone, showing up to the meeting, doing the work. That is how the miracle arrives. It wears overalls, and it looks like a job to do.
The miracle arrives in work clothes. I like that.
It's the truth.
Okay, let's recap what we have covered today. This is part 8. It's been a lot to digest, but it's so important.
It is. Let's break it down to the absolute essentials.
Bullet first. Thought attracts the resource. Action receives it.
It is a partnership. You have to do both. You can't just do one.
Bullet next. Do not try to project your thought to control others. Keep your mind at home.
Your power is in mastering your own house first, last, and always.
Bullet next. Use established systems and regular channels. Do not expect magic out of thin air.
You have to respect the way the physical world actually works.
Bullet next. Ensure fair exchange by giving more use value than the cash value you take.
Always be a creator, a fountain. Never be a bandit, a drain.
Bullet next. You can only act in the present moment. Yesterday and tomorrow are not actionable.
Your power is right here, right now. That's it.
Bullet next. Do not wait for a change in environment. Change your environment by acting effectively now.
You have to outgrow your current place to get to the next one.
And bullet finally. Put your whole mind into the present action to eliminate the divided mind.
Focus is your superpower.
This has been a heavy one, but a really necessary one, I feel.
It is the difference between fantasy and reality. It's the difference between wishing for a thing and having a thing. This chapter is the bridge between those two worlds.
So where are we going next with this? What's the next step?
Well, now that we understand that we have to act, and act now with our whole minds, the next logical step is to talk about the quality of that action. Because just running around doing a billion things isn't the answer either.
Okay, so you're teasing episode 7, efficient action.
Exactly. The core concept is that it is not the number of things you do that matters, but the efficiency of each separate act that creates success. It is quality over quantity. One efficient act is worth 100 frantic, inefficient ones,
So it's possible we can actually do less, but achieve more.
if we do it in a certain way.
I am very much looking forward to that. I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over until next time. We talked about opening the door when the package arrives. But what if the package is already there? What if it's been sitting on your porch for weeks or months and you just haven't looked down yet? What action are you avoiding right now that is actually the key to everything you want?
That is a very provocative question to end on.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.